A common trend in how societies remember significant events manifests in a sudden resurgence of commemoration decades later. This is far from random. It coincides with the unfortunate realization that the living memory of that historical moment is dying off. There is a scramble to honor and to compile testimonies from those who witnessed history and are still alive to tell the tale. This was especially true for the Boston Tea Party of 1773, an event people generally assume historians know better than they actually do, though this is not for lack of trying. The efforts of our scholars are frustrated by the secret oath the Sons of Liberty swore regarding this organized destruction of East India Company cargo. It also did not help that quickly following this event, the American colonies would be thrown into a conflict that preoccupied everyone for a few years. When the Boston Tea Party re-entered the conversation, there were few written testimonies to go off of, and even fewer verifiable ones. One man, however, we know to have participated was Mr. George Robert Twelves Hughes. While in 1773 he was just a humble shoemaker, Hughes would go on several adventures during the Revolutionary War. He would personally meet with George Washington, engage himself aboard a vessel of the burgeoning American Navy, and even save the life of renowned political figure James Otis. Later on, he left Boston for family and business prospects. But in 1835, at the age of 92, Hughes returned to his hometown for a 4th of July celebration. Accolades were heaped upon him by a Dr. Smith in the following speech. Nearly the last of that fearless company of patriots who constituted the celebrated Boston Tea Party is now before the audience. This is Mr. George Robert Twelve Hughes, formerly a citizen of Boston, who, on the verge of eternity, earnestly desired to revisit the early scenes of his youth, that his eyes might be gladdened with objects in which they once delighted. How wonderful! Nearly 100 years of age, yet in full possession of his faculties, and susceptible of all the enjoyments and pleasures of social intercourse. Let the youth who have this rare opportunity of gazing upon the features of this extraordinary, this last man, as it were, remember the circumstance that in their old age they may say to their children they saw on the 4th of July, 1835, a man who assisted in throwing into the ocean 3 cargoes of tea in order to resist the exactions of foreign taskmasters. And may the spirit which animated him on that remarkable occasion live in them and their posterity, while home has endearments and true patriotism exists in the land which gave them birth. Venerable old man, may heaven's choicest blessings rest upon your frosted head. Since you were born, 300 millions of human beings have probably gone down to the grave. And yet you were spared, perhaps by divine providence, to be a living monitor to us, to cherish our precious institutions, and to transmit them unimpaired to succeeding generations. Though you come to the land of your childhood leaning upon a staff and feeling your dependence on the charities of a selfish world, you are surrounded by friends who feel that their prosperity is referable to the privations, sacrifices, and personal labors of you and your brave associates in arms. May your last days be peaceful, calm, and happy. And with your last breath, I beseech you invoke a blessing on our common country.